On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Brownsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
And here we are. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one half of that duo, Cole Johnson. The other half will join me momentarily. And on tap later on in the first hour, we will have Totally Deeds, as he says he's going to have another movie review on tap, another Marvel Cinematic Universe movie on tap for what he's going to talk about in terms of breaking down how it's going to be. And we're going to talk about different things, some Major League Baseball, some NFL, some NBA, but all, of course, is done the way we always do it. Hottest of hot takes, cold hard facts, and no lies can't be found. But here is today's Whip Around. Only one subject that we're going to touch on today, and that will be Brock Purdy, the third stringer turned possible future franchise quarterback for the 49ers. Well, we saw him last month having to possibly go under the knife, seeing as though the first possession that the Niners had in the NFC Championship game go awry thanks to Hassan Reddick pass rush that messed up his elbow. News now has come that he will have to probably postpone his elbow surgery until next month. So there's been swelling ever since the NFC Championship game has happened, and the swelling has been so severe that they have to wait for it to reduce in order for doctors to get to the ulnar collateral ligament damage in the elbow. Now, the procedure was supposed to happen yesterday in Arlington, but after he met with Dr. Keith Meister on Tuesday, the surgery now will be delayed for at least another month. Now, Purdy continues to have inflammation in the elbow, which is why the doctor recommended that he postpone the surgery until it gets a little bit smaller. Now, the two of them are aiming to regroup in early March with the hopes of getting it done when they do reconvene. Now, with the surgery delayed at least until early March, the 6-month window that they have placed on the recovery time from the time he has surgery to the time he can get back on the field, now that sort of pushes things back to at the earliest late August, probably as late as, if they have it early March, probably the week that the NFL takes off between, after all of the week, well, now 3 games that they play in the preseason and the Thursday night game to begin the regular season. It looks like that is now going to be the new target date as to when he's going to return. Now, Brock has been, I guess you could say, positive about it all, and he feels this way. Quote, "We're going to it thinking the repair with the internal brace for sure. All the surgeons have said that, and that's what we're hoping for, and to get a 6-month recovery period in and be ready for training camp." Close quote. Well, Mr. Purdy, I hate to tell you this, sir, but training camp, that would normally begin in late July. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a Rhodes Scholar, but I was pretty good in simple math. See, late July, that basically would be 5 months from now. So if you expect to be ready by then, you either are a great healer, which yes, you're young, so you probably are at this time and stage in your life, or you have a very, very positive outlook because 6 months would take you to the regular season more than likely. And I know for a fact the 49ers would not put you back on the field and you haven't got a chance to actually get in time and reps. So he'll take as much time as you need, man, and get that wing ready. And that takes care of today's whip around. The Fanatic Feedback Zone we go, and the guest that's going to join us at the bottom of the first hour, Chris Dietz of the Fit Down Sports Show. He says, totally Dietz Thursdays. And oh, yes, it's tripped out. If you thought the last movie, which was Black Panther Wakanda Forever, was nuts, buckle up. Victor Locke, he says, oh, here we go. What's on the docket today, Mr. Dietz? He says, it's Quantum Mania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. He said a plan for a remake that would bank in today's marketplace, a serious sports and culture issue. If there's time, the fix for the All-Star weekend. That's all what he has planned to speak about. Sig Diggy, all the way from Norway, he says, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good afternoon to you, sir. The Hall TV says the intro clips are priceless. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Victor Locke says, good morning to the Throwback Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. And Victor, good morning to you as he says, good morning, Cole Sports. And Hall TV says, what up, world? Foul Players Radio, it is good to have you aboard, new fam. Good morning to you as well. Sig Diggy says, this edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson is brought to you by Chicken Wings Hair Plugs. Forget peacocking. Get to roostering. Oh, Lord, these ads that you all throw up is hilarious. A Pizzle. What is up, my man?
Good morning to you. He says he needs to have Tommy John to drink.
And
A Pizzle.
He says
morning.
And before we continue, let me bring upon my partner. Unfortunately, it's a little bit loud and
my partner, Brian Snow, aka the Snowman.
Good morning, everybody. I spent 3.5 hours last night testing my road setup. Thought I had it. I get to my location here, and all of a sudden it wanted to crash. But can you hear me? Can you guys hear me loud and clear?
You're heard loud and clear.
I can actually get the atmosphere around you just as loud.
Sweet. Because I had a couple of tricks up my sleeve I wanted to try, and apparently they are working. And from the sound of your feedback, sir, it is coming in quite clear.
I think you took care of
somewhat.
Sorry about that. There, that's what I needed. Okay. There, how's that? I'm adjusting as I go. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Dates will be with us at the bottom of this hour.
Mm-hmm.
Hawk TV says, we can hear you, Snowman. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I paid you tribute in my evening show yesterday.
Yeah,
Mr. Johnson.
Oh, you mean like the here?
It says the
lack of all-star.
Oh, yeah. All-star. Yeah, I did.
Please catch replay. It was off the chain.
Thank
you.
I totally
appreciate it. But go ahead.
But it's necessary because there were no all-stars. Yeah. I'm sorry, there were no all-stars in the skills competition, and there were no all-stars in the game because, and see, Rod West is going to get mad at me for saying this, but it needs to be said.
Rod West.
How can you have an all-star game if you don't play defense?
No.
More than that.
How can you have
an all-star game when you can? No.
When the
casual fan
can
visibly see
that the
people who supposed to be the best
don't
really care about playing in the game.
And I have a casual, and I got a casual person who repeated my statement to me about the All-Star game sucking. You know who that person was?
Your wife.
My daughter. My daughter Cheyenne. I mean, wife and I already figured it out.
Even more of a Kentucky fan. Okay.
I mean, wife and I figured it out once we got together in 2018. All right, because she was, and I emphasize was, a fan of the Indiana Pacers, and you know who that attraction is.
Yes.
That would be
the missus.
But you know who the big time player for many years for the Indiana Pacers was. That of course was Reginald Miller, number 31. So we went down memory lane and reminisced about, I don't know, Chuck Connors' person, Rick Smits, Mark Jackson, or as Ray says, Mark Jixon with his dumbass. This morning we're powered by Starbucks, and they were kind enough to help me stay on track this morning with a venti mocha. Free refills here as I am in Edinburgh, Indiana, on location this morning. And doggone it, for the first time, this experiment I tried with the sound is working. So thank you all for helping out. Thank you all for staying with me. And thanks to our latest member, Drew Willingham, who taught me a very valuable lesson about sound, what microphone to use, what microphone not to use. Believe me, I'm carrying all this into next season when we land and I get the schools I want to get and I take off.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. That's awesome.
So thank you all very, very much. And thank you to the folks here at Starbucks here in Edinburgh, Indiana. A Pizzle says, sounds good, Snowman. Thank you. Thank you, A Pizzle. Nice Indianapolis Colts jacket, Snowman. This is courtesy of the missus. Because, as I said, she went Goodwill hopping on Monday. And she found me this jacket. And I'm more than happy to sport it because A, it's the Colts, and B, it's my wife's team, and C, my bride gave it to me.
Nice.
Besides, Donna Marie Snow will always allow me a connection to the Indianapolis Colts. And that, of course, is baby Tigger,
his late daughter.
That's my late daughter. And as her anniversary comes up, if it happens on a weekday and I start crying, y'all will know lie. Y'all will know why.
It's coming up.
It's coming up. March 6th.
Yeah.
March 6th. But I intend to smile a lot more, even with baby girl not being here, because I felt her spirit when I got the announcement last Wednesday that I had beaten pancreatic cancer. So she will be, I can tell you right now, and I know she's not here, but Jody told me, Cheyenne told me, Sonia told me, Dakota told me, all my children through marriage told me she would have been the first kid to celebrate with me. Getting the announcement.
Hawk B says, I agree with you, V-Lock.
And be also
weekend is supposed to showcase sports bets and Brighton Stars, not the G League player.
With that said, though,
I'm hoping Matt McClung gets more playing time in there.
He won't,
and I do too.
He won't,
but I
doubt it.
and I'll tell you too. And I will tell you,
especially with the Sixers, I doubt he will.
he won't get any more playing time in the NBA. And I will tell you 2 reasons why. James Harden.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. The team he's playing on, I doubt he will.
Victor says,
if you forgot Valentine's Day, or if you got caught in the car with your side lady, not your main, flowers from Udoka, maybe they'll help.
Yeah, Delbert Yates Jr.
I guess you're allowed for sure.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, I just threw a troll under the bus, and I don't care.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Salute to y'all. This is a salute to y'all from me and from the missus and from my family for all the good prayers, all the good vibes, all of the, come on, Snowman, you can make it to the finish line. And for all of you guys that believed this fight can get done. And now it's time for this empire to make it billions.
Cool. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. Victor says, take advantage of the after Valentine's Day discount
on a
Nia Long stem roses. And I swear she's just a friend bouquet.
Yeah, Keith Strapper, take a few of those. I'm sorry. Did I say that aloud?
Oh man, I missed. I had to catch replay. So I hope you enjoy it, man.
Did I say that aloud?
TV also says, you know it's bad when Stephen A. Smith states publicly how bad the game and the gun contest have been.
Yeah,
it's horrible. And before we do bring in our guests,
or should I say guests?
We got a couple of them.
Yes, we have a couple of them.
Oh dear.
The
Snowman is probably brought to you by Lisa Salon's Lace Front Hair Indians.
And now
introducing the new Lace Front Chest Hair. Roy full 70s look.
I don't have any chest hair, nor do I want any. I am perfectly fine the way that I am. But I do embrace the Michael Jordan look. Not the false Michael Jordan look that LeBron James tries to sport on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
This is me at age 50. I simply don't care anymore. I would say it another way, but we are over the air, at least beginning Monday. We are over the air, so I must clean up my language and honor the rest of the crew, because we're going to be over the air on a few stations, and I'm looking to buy more time in main markets, including the one I'm headed to, which is Phoenix, Arizona. So, and I want to thank the folks that broke the ice on the new GoFundMe that is out now. You have the link, Cole Johnson. So if y'all can spread it and help us make our goal, not only will the Snowman be appreciative, but my entire family, grandchildren and all, will be appreciative, because they're cheering us on and they want to see us get to the next level. All right, I'm with
Snowman. Most of the rest of the guests look at the cleanup link.
Wait, say that again.
Why you always lying?
Oh man.
All right. Are we ready?
Totally deeds. Let me do the follow. Now, the man who protected Jalen Brunson wasn't in the debacle the All-Star game. Number 4, Wise Hefe. Number 400. What's up, man?
Good morning, Wise.
Good morning, gentlemen. All right.
Hey, Wise, you got a new headset. What's up with that?
Oh, the new headset is old. I have a new haircut.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I do see it.
I missed that. You do have a haircut.
Yeah. Yes.
So I will repeat my wife's question to me this morning. What's up with that? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, listen, I needed to change it to get out. Hey, I need to get that pandemic here off.
This is why I'm out. Like you said, Wise, I needed a change. This is why I'm out and about today. And I'm hoping this weekend I get my truck back so I can do this on location more often and continue to test my new setup. Let's get totally deets, folks.
There we go.
Passionate. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Deeds.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
And as he joins us every Thursday morning, you don't know what lane he's down, where he's going to come from, but you know that act, it's going to come down on. Welcome from the fifth down sport, Chris Deeds. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What up, Deeds?
First thank you, Snowman, for joining us on Saturday when we did our Super Bowl, our Super Bowl review. Snowman was part of it. So thank you, sir. It was a fun time.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And I teased this with someone. It's a good thing you're in a Starbucks. You're in location. Just up and leave this time, like you did during the Wakanda Forever review.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I'm glad there's a bathroom nearby.
Yeah.
Hit it.
You might need to use that. So remember last time when I did Wakanda Forever, I said I could break this movie in one scene, and I believe that I did by pointing out 4 problems with one scene that we talked an hour on.
And we still didn't even break down the whole movie.
And so the funny thing is, I can play Name That Tune with this movie, and I can break not just this movie, I can break two franchises in one line from this movie. One line breaks 2 franchises and this movie, and it just sinks them right down the tubes.
So you're not just talking about Wakanda Forever. You're talking about
the altogether.
I'm talking about Quantum. I'm talking about Quantum Mania, and I'm talking about Marvel and Disney as a whole are sunk with one line from this movie.
Here it comes.
All right. So first, I have to set this up. So in this movie, you know it's Ant-Man. So the ants come in and they save the day, and Michael Douglas comes in riding on one of the ants. Now it's at this moment that he says, and Cole, you can open the quote box because he's going to be direct from the movie.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Quote.
Michael Douglas says,
quote.
I know socialism is a trigger word, but there's a lot to learn from it.
Quote. Before you continue.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying?
Slowly.
You want me to repeat that?
Say that again. Slowly.
Socialism. I know it's a bigger word, but there's a lot we can learn from it.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my gosh. Stop lying. Always.
Now, who believes that hot garbage?
Everybody at Disney, apparently. Everybody at Marvel Studios.
The Disney to take
Lord have mercy.
There's a reason why they took not an L, a $2 billion dollar loss in the quarter. There's a reason for that, and it's this kind of garbage.
What in the Vita Blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell was that?
They're not even admitting it anymore. It used to be covert. Like, all right, we'll do our little thing on the side. A literal form of movie. You can't make this up. You can't be Disney and be pushing socialism in the middle of the MCU. What the hell is going on?
Camp.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to switch to my other mic here, so y'all are going to hear some rumbling, but things we can learn from socialism, huh? I can put that in four. Mr. Dietz, allow me to be Jim Lang or Tom Kennedy and play Bit a Note from Name That Tune by saying I can equate that BS line to 4 letters. Starts with an E, ends with an N. Y'all fill in the rest.
Yeah.
My notebook, which I did take notes on this movie. And if you want a full breakdown, go to Sit Down Sports Show, because I did the entire movie. I did 4 pages of notes. The last 3 pages. Every single note that I took ends with the letters W T F.
And this is now Mania in 5 words.
And this is after I left after the Super Bowl breakdown, and all I did was break down like part of the game and 2 commercials. And to repeat what Dietz said about Super Bowl 57, high scoring game, yes. Were there any plays during Super Bowl 57 that grabbed your attention? Like, and this will piss all the Bradyites off, I don't know, Montana hitting John Taylor for a game winner? No.
Look, the most drama-filled end that Brady ever had in the Super Bowl happened to be a Malcolm Butler interception.
I'll change that. I'll correct your sentence for you, Cole. The most drama-filled Bradyite moment in the Super Bowl was Super Bowl 52 when he
that's you're right.
Well, you're right.
That came from his own hand.
Exactamundo. I would say, like I said, I would say it another way. The George Carlin in me wants to come out, but
we talked about it. We talked about it last week. Like the thing people remember is a fumble by Jalen Hurts, but it wasn't even he just lost the ball.
He did.
He didn't do anything. He just dropped the ball.
He just dropped the ball.
That is what in tennis they call an unforced error. Yeah.
You mean the many? Hey, Cole, you mean the many LeBron unforced errors? I'm sorry, did I say that aloud?
The almost 5,000 of them. Yes.
You mean all the LeBron unforced errors that all these bronze sexuals don't want to look at? And I'm getting all my shots out now because, as I said, beginning Monday, we'll be over the air on a couple of stations, and I actually have to focus on sports. Wait, I do that anyway. Go on, please.
He can't see this.
You mean like dribbling the ball off your knee because you're afraid to post up JJ Barea, who's 5'10"?
What if Michael Jordan had a 5 foot?
Yes.
What if Michael Jordan had a 5'11" person against him? How many times would he post them before we got the message?
Hold on. So bronzesexuals love to clown Jordan.
Oh, all the time. All the time.
But they love to show pictures of him being guarded by Muggsy Bogues. And they say, now this. I'm sorry, let me do this correctly. They would say in name crap like this. Quote. Now, this is the competition that Michael Jordan had to go through. Close quote.
You mean that crap you showed me this morning?
Yeah, that utter
Are you talking about that other lack of disrespect? What did I say? That utter lack of the show of disrespect and stupidity that these bronze sexuals love to show. And I'm fumbling around here because I'm getting my other setup here. How's this microphone sound, guys? Does it sound good?
Your sound's fine.
Okay.
The problem is we keep in air close to everybody else.
I'm sorry. Let me turn this down.
1 2. Yeah.
There we go.
It's a little better.
The problem.
We all went quiet.
The problem with transsexual is we all know what happened during that series because we watched it. The NBA has scrubbed that. You can't find the clip of him going against JJ Barea. It doesn't exist anymore. They totally whitewashed.
Dates.
It's sad.
I submit to you the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals, when a certain team from the Windy City, who was the number 1 overall seed, and I'm going to turn on my mic when I scream this, got royally screwed. But Adam Silver and his constituents want to wipe that out. But go on, please.
The Heat competed. They took that. They won. They were motivated. They mobilized. And then they gentlemen swept the Bulls.
My ass. There. That's better, Mike. My ass.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Motivated my ass. David Stern had his hand up LeBron's ass beginning in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2011. Find the freaking lie.
Are you saying that LeBron is a billion-dollar puppet?
Hell yeah, I'm saying that. I've been saying that since 2002. All right.
LeBron James, a billion-dollar national association.
And then, give me that other blasphemy, will you please? Give me that other blasphemy, because I have a reason I'm doing this. I'm somewhat commandeering Totally Deets this moment. Give me that.
Like
Yancey number 13 years. I've been here. All players long and you're going to get bounced first round. Not a bunny, but it's about. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the best basketball in the world. Lord have mercy. Yes, LeBron is too.
It has always been you. It always will be you.
Lord.
Now, Deeds.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Right. Have a Coke and a smile and shut up. What is your name? I told you. It doesn't matter what your name is.
All right, much better. I'm sorry. Continue, sir. You ready to work quantum?
I'm done. And like I said, this one line supporting socialism is the downfall of not just this movie, but Marvel Studios, Disney as a whole. I mean, what else? I will shout out. I watch a lot of content providers, and one of them is Gary from Neurotic, who said Disney's not Marvel's not dying. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead on the work. Now I would disagree with him and say they still have Guardians coming up. But after Guardians 3, is anyone excited about Marvel? They've already canceled the next 2 Disney Plus shows indefinitely. Meaning we're never going to see those. They were expecting Snowman and the Wasp to kick off Phase 5 and to be a cash cow, and it's underperformed badly because of garbage like this. And people are pointing it out, and that's going to make people not want to go. I mean, opening weekend was your chance to kill it, and they failed. This is a disaster that is going to ruin both of these companies, and Disney has nothing else to go on. Lucasfilm has destroyed itself. Pixar, Lightyear has destroyed Pixar's credibility. Everything Disney touches now is eroding, and it's dying. This is why this is important. This was a company that for 30 years of my life you could always rely on Disney. You could say, all right, Disney's going to put something out, and and it's going to be watchable. It's going to be fun for the family. It's not anymore. It's a dead enterprise.
I can tell you how basically the MCU is done. It's just real simple. My wife is a huge MCU fan. Can watch Avengers at the drop of a hat any day of the week. The moment Tony Stark snapped his fingers at Endgame, that was it for her. And even with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, she actually terms it garbage of the galaxy. That won't even save it in my wife's eyes because it's basically done for. It's gone. And hearing statements like what they had Michael Douglas' character in Quantumania say. Oh yeah, that would further make her say the MCU is done. No question.
Nobody is excited. I mean, are you excited for the Marvel? I mean, you have Miss Marvel, the least watched Disney Plus show of all time. You have Captain Marvel, who is by far the most hated character in all of the MCU and one of the least selling comic book characters of all time. And you put these, and then you have Monica Rambeau in there, who her run as Captain America was almost as bad, if not worse. So you have 3 unsellable characters in your next upcoming movie, and I said this in my review. You'll notice how this movie comes out in November, and it's the next line in the Marvel Universe. Notice how we haven't seen a clip. We haven't seen a trailer. We just got the poster, and it barely shows anything. There's a reason why they're hiding this movie. They know this movie's going in the tank.
Well, it's more than the movie. I think the whole franchise is going in the tank, and
but
it's already started going in that direction.
But to get to topic number 2 that I do have a saving grace. Now we talked about bad shows on this. We've talked about a lot of bad things. We talked about the Velma remake, and I thought Scooby-Doo was something you could not screw up. Velma took that and ran with it. But I was at you guys are fortunate / unfortunate to where you get all the thoughts that I think of while I'm at work, and this is the first chance I get to expel them. So you guys get the fresh things that I've been thinking about all night, and
fresh hot takes. Okay.
One of the things I was thinking about, because we were listening to the 60s station at work.
Okay.
And during one of their breaks, a certain theme song played. And I got to thinking, this show would be perfect. If you just remade it the way it was, it would play perfectly today. And that show is the Jetsons. If you remade the Jetsons right now in the market that it's in, because you think back to what the Jetsons were. It was George Jetson basically acting a fool and messing up, which pretty much that's what Hollywood wants to do to every male character, is make them a fool, make them act up.
Out of them, yes.
But then you think about every Jetsons plot. Every Jetsons plot is pretty much the same like this. George messes up. He goes to wife Judy. She gives him the answer. He basically says, nah, I'm not going to do that. Gets in more trouble. Then goes back and does what she said, and it works. That's basically the plot of every Jetsons cartoon when you watch it and you think about it. It's basically Jane solving all the problems. if you just remade that in today's market, in today's Hollywood, it would get made and it would get produced right now. They would put that on the air immediately. They would, if you wrote it today, they would put it on the air tomorrow.
Okay, but this is how they will unfortunately screw that up. So of course Jane will be the hero, but she'll be a Karen. Judy will be.
That's the thing. She's always been that way.
I know, but I mean, it would be on overload and overdrive. Judy would be a blue or a purple or a green or a red. You could pick the color of hair other than yellow. She and would want to hug every tree known to man. And Elroy.
Oh, and they would make Elroy. They would make Elroy gay. There's no question about that.
Exactly. And Elroy would be the most flaming of homosexuals. And I'm not saying this to be crass. I'm saying it because it is stereotypical how horrible this is. They'll make him the most stereotypical homosexual as a 10-year-old that you can get.
Am I hearing references to the Jetsons?
Sassy, black robot voice. You check every single box. The Jetsons every box of what you're trying to do right now. I'm telling you right now, this would. It would break the bank. Studios would be coming at you with $1 contract.
Am I hearing a possible reboot for the Jetsons?
No. What Dietz is saying is that in the climate that exists today, the Jetsons actually would work, considering how back in the 50s and 60s, when the cartoon was made, that was the plot of every Jetsons show. And he's correct. The problem is the way Hollywood is today. They will take all of the characters and just go in overdrive. Like Jane would be more of a Karen.
Yep.
Judy would be tree hugging, and Errol would be 10 years old, but acting like Elton John.
And George wouldn't be around.
No, George would be around.
George would be there. He would be around.
He'll be around, but George will have his joystick tugged by either Spacely or Jane or both of them at the same time.
Yeah, can we say both?
But like I said, that's the current climate. That's exactly what every TV show, cartoon, every single thing being produced now is basically male character is the butt of every joke, and females know all the answers.
That's gonna have to come seriously. And I'll say it this way: the views expressed coming up are not that of Chris Dietz or Brian Snow or any other guest that comes on, or even Snowman in the Morning or BS3 Network or Roku TV or any other stations. This is the views of Cole Johnson. There's going to have to come a time where there's a backlash to this crap, because you can't have men continuously be emasculated and that actually be the fail safe. Oh, this will be entertaining, because you just can't have a guy just get male bashed. And you can't have the woman be the superwoman. Look, we get it. Women are wonderful. They could do a lot of great things. I know, I'm married to one. But it does not mean that the woman does everything right and the man does everything wrong. And it doesn't mean that the household under which that happens is all in utter disarray and chaos. Because unfortunately, many in this country don't want to see that type of family. They just don't. Now, some do, but many don't.
No, you're right. And to piggyback off that, not only will women do everything, but women can't do what men do. They can't do manly characteristics. Women are women for a reason, and the things that women do great, they do great. They don't do guy things well. That's why guys exist, to do guy things. You can't have women be beating up people that are 3 times as big as them. Like, you can't have them they don't punch their way through things. They outthink their opponents. They do things wilier. They're better in that way. Yeah. Where a guy would just go in, punch everything up and be done with it. Mm-hmm. That's not how women do things. But that's how they want to portray the women now. Yeah. It's like, no, the fact that they're feminine is what draws people to the female characters. But you said there's got to be an awakening. If losing $2 billion in a quarter isn't a wake up, I don't know what's going to wake them up. I have no idea.
But I agree with you. I would think a loss of money would be a wake-up call. However, like we have just said, if the Jetsons would be a reboot, we pretty much demonstrated how they would be, and it would go along the lines of how they would lose even more money because they think that this is the way that we should be entertained, and they still haven't gotten the message that, oh, this isn't the way because this is out of natural order. Look, I was in a meeting. And a guy actually said this, and at first I pushed back on it, and then when I said it afterwards, people pushed back on me, but they didn't quite understand it until I explained it to them. He said, we should be about women having equal rights, and I was like, I agree with that. And he says, and you have to understand that women are equal to men. And I was like, equal to men? I'm not sure about that. He says, no, follow me. Women are and should be equal to men, but they are not the same as a man. I was like, oh, okay, I got it. And when I would get around other circles and I'd say, yeah, women should be equal and we should fight for them to be equal, men would be like, no. I'm like, no, believe me, it's much better if you actually do advocate for them to be equal. But understand that they're not the same because they can't do the same things that we do, and we can't do the same things they do. Like, we can't give birth, they can. However, like you said, they can't come against a brute with physical force. We can. And that's just how it is. That's just how you're made.
Somebody should tell LeBron that.
That's just how it is. These people in Hollywood, they want to push female. Like I don't even know how to word it. They want to push females to the top, but they don't know how to write female. Mm-hmm. They don't know how to write that. They don't know how to write them. And like you said, there are things that women do amazingly. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to accentuate those. No, they have to take over the male character, or the male character has to be so far brought down that the woman has to go over their level. That's what they don't realize is by bringing one character down, you bring the whole thing down. You bring everything down.
And that would be and the same would be true if they did that with men too. If the man would dominate and basically just crush under the thumb everybody else, you bring everybody down too. And it's as if people have this backwards thought process of either a man has to be extremely chauvinistic or an extreme pushover, or a woman has to be basically superwoman or the next case study for an abused spouse, but the in-between can't be told. And I'm thinking to myself, come on now, we are evolved. Even in creativity, we are evolved. We have to come to a point where you have to show different hues of how things operate. And we don't necessarily need to have the guy be the butt of every single joke. We don't necessarily need to have the woman be the comedic or the dramatic hero all the time. Sometimes, yes, but not all the time. And the children don't have to simply be basically like the offspring in Married with Children, where they just smart off every time and every chance they get. Okay, so to me it's sort of like a been there done that type of thing. We've been there, we've done that. Look, I've wearing the t-shirt. I don't find it entertaining. Just like I wouldn't find just like I didn't find Velma entertaining because of similar reasoning. And it's like, if you tell how women are naturally are, because women, how they naturally are very powerful people. Men, how they naturally are very powerful human beings. To me, it's too simple.
And it's funny because both can be true.
Yeah.
A male character can be powerful in his male ways.
Exactly.
And still be overpowered by a woman who uses her guile, her wildness, her assets.
Yes. And you don't emasculate the man in the process. Exactly.
And everything would be everything would work symmetrically. They would both pick each other up. That's the problem right now. It's like they treat it like a teeter-totter. Like, oh, if one side's down, then the other side has to be way up. When no, we need it to be both the same in order to show the power. If one is really low, then the other one's not as powerful because you're like, oh well, that guy's so effeminate. Effeminate.
Yeah.
That I don't respect everything that's happening to him.
It's to the point where not only do you make him so effeminate, you make him inconsequential.
Did someone say inconsequential?
Yes, someone did say inconsequential.
And I think I sound a lot clearer now because I'm using my other phone. How do I sound?
You sound great. We sound better.
Okay, so I'm using my new phone that my wife got me, and I'm using a USB to C interface.
Cool.
And it seems like it's working great. I sound great. You guys sound great.
Yeah, there's no echo, so that's
okay.
That's a plus.
Beautiful. I can use it this afternoon. I'm busy straightening out my tripod here.
And and I could hear the ambiance sound too with you is done. It's gone.
Okay.
That's even better.
Good. This is the phone I will use, and I'm gonna get another one like this and have it as my camera when I do my game. So y'all are catching me experimenting on the fly. So, hey, Deets,
that's professionalism at work right there.
Yes, it is. Because when you figure out a problem, you immediately put it in motion. Hawk TV, Snowman, will you be at the NFL Combine? I am working on it. There's a meeting I have to there's a meeting I have to attend next Thursday night. I will do it from my office, but with this experiment going as well as it's going, I will cautiously, optimistically say, count on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because he's not that far from it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm an hour and a half away from Indianapolis, and I told the folks in charge at BS3, let me represent y'all and my company, and I'll take the wife with me, and we'll both go to the Combine. F it. Awesome. F it at this point.
So
I can eviscerate Ant-Man and put a equal sign to something else inconsequential in 4 letters. The first one's E, the last one's N.
Oh.
And you know the two letters in the middle.
Yeah. Speaking of that network.
Oh God.
You want to get to the real topic of conversation here?
And it is?
And it has to do with their NFL analyst, and I'm going to call him out by name because I don't care.
Oh! Before you do, let's treat that as a tease. Hour number 2 of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson starts
now.
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his third year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2,
the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2, was
Oh man, I thought I missed it. What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now.
And welcome back to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson with the Snowman. I am Cole Johnson. We are joined by Chris Dietz of the Fifth Down Sports Show, Christopher Dietz of, and we're in the middle of Total Dietz. And before we get to the curse word and the analyst you're about to rake over the coals, there's an admission and a confession. VLock 83, Victor Locke says, Snowman, I had to confess my sin that I perused social media yesterday. Hangs head in shame.
Well, pull your head back, and there's a 2-foot smile in his face when he's saying that, because I know Victor, and y'all know how we roll here. Well, pull your head up, Victor, because we all have perused social media, and in the case of bronze sexuals like Rod West and Keith, whatever the hell his name is, it peruses us.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, how many times have we been asked, I beg your pardon, to Dietz and to Cole, how many times have we been asked if we peruse social media on purpose? No. Well, and how many times have we been asked, Cole, how many do y'all look for these bronze sexual confessions?
Nope.
Let me explain carefully.
They just come across the desk.
Thank you.
Let me explain. Let me explain in more detail. It goes like this. We don't look for them. They find us. I mean, when Cole introduced bronze sexual confessions to me 2.5 years ago, 1, I couldn't stop laughing. 2, I couldn't stop contributing. 3, he helped me every time I needed him with a bronze sexual confession when I had to drive from Henderson to Raleigh, or from Henderson to Chapel Hill, or from Henderson to Greensboro, which happened twice, or from Henderson to Durham. And 4, and more importantly, they find us.
Yeah.
We don't look for these stupid fools. These stupid fools find us with their frivolity. I swear to God, they find. I swear to God, they find us. I will echo a statement that Victor has said, Dietz has said, Cole has said, and I've said quite a few times. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make that. There's no way in hell you can't make this up. It just doesn't happen. It don't.
No, just like the other day when it came across my TV
This Big Brother TV. Oh man.
That Eric Bieniemy was changing from offensive coordinator of the Chiefs to offensive coordinator of the Commanders, or as I like to call them, the Redskins.
Can you say that second part again for me, Deets? I mean, you make my old school heart happy, and I'll allow you to complete this sentence. They are the Washington
Major Tutties.
Redskins. They're always going to be the Redskins. They're never going to be the Commanders or whatever they want to be called.
Unfortunately, they will always be the Daniel Snyders to me now.
Yes.
I get it.
But
I get it.
But here's where this story goes from, all right, coach changes positions. All right. Here's where this story goes from coach changes position to absolutely nuclear in about 30 seconds.
Oh, boy.
When guys who are employed by a certain network are called analysts of the NFL, like Louis Riddick, who is a race baiter and a hater on all sides, when he says, why does Eric Bieniemy have to change just to get a head coaching position? It's because of the color of his skin. No, it's not, Mr. Riddick. It's because Eric Bieniemy has been linked all his career to Andy Reid. He needed to get out of the shadow of Andy Reid. That's why he had to make the move. And not to mention, 3 years ago when they won the Super Bowl the first time, he was given interviews and he was actually given head coaching jobs that he turned down to stay an offensive coordinator at Kansas City. He also, during those interviews, I heard reports that he did not interview well. I heard those reports surfacing after everybody said, why isn't Eric Bieniemy getting this job? Why isn't he getting this job? Why did he go for this interview and get passed over?
Because he can't interview.
He did not interview well. Now, that goes to this week. Where he makes this change. Everybody says, oh, he's not getting a head coaching job because of his color of his skin. And who comes out of the woodwork? LaShawn McCoy, or as I call him, Shady. Shady McCoy comes out. They had him on FS1, and he says, and I quote, we went into meeting rooms, and we would watch video, and he would say nothing. Andy said it all. Andy would draw up the passing game. Eric had no say in the passing game at all, did not know it, didn't even try to know it. He knew running backs, but he did not know the passing game. Now, I've heard a lot about this of, well, Shady's just, he's just mad because he used to be a player there and now he's not, and this, that, and the other thing. I can't speak to that. I don't know Shady McCoy that well. But all I do know is he has more experience in that locker room than anybody that I know of. And when he's saying things like the things that he's saying, and you match them up with when he went for interviews, he didn't interview well, you kind of you link the chains together, and all of a sudden you've got a pretty good length of this makes sense. This all fits together, but not on a certain network, which, by the way, is owned by Disney.
Yes.
Where it's not about qualifications.
The worst kept damn secret. The worst kept damn secret in 1999 was that certain network was getting in bed with the mouse ears. And people like Cole and I have known this ish since 1984, when they slowly began the merge. Because for a long time, that network wasn't independent. ABC Sports was an independent. And when ABC Sports covered college basketball and college football, superior coverage. Keith Jackson, anyone? Brent Musburger, anyone? Hell, Gary Bender, anyone? But right around the time that Brent Musburger left CBS and went to ABC, who started sneaking in the back door?
Those mouse.
1990. I will point out the year again, and I want y'all to think very carefully. Something Rod West doesn't do with his broad sexuality. We all know that. The year 1990. Brent Musburger was given his walk-in papers from CBS after he did the national championship in Denver, Colorado, where UNLV destroyed the Duke Blue Devils. And then he went right to ABC. He wasn't out of a job long, thank the Lord. But how many times across the network, across both networks, did they merge? But they were so inept about hiding it. In the immortal words of Cole Johnson's dad and my late father, quote, that lie can't be found.
All right. The Hawk TV is in our chat. So I want the Hawk to listen up right now, because I'm gonna drop a lot of this. I'm gonna drop all my information on this on the show tonight on Fifth Down Sports Show 9:00.
And that is LeBron ain't the GOAT. Go ahead, continue.
But no, but
did you say 9 o'clock?
I don't care about his thoughts on that.
I know.
What I care about is my conspiracy theory here, because this is it. This is my initial take when I read the headline, Eric Bieniemy to the Commanders. Am I wrong in saying Ron Rivera is dead man walking?
Yes.
Oh,
wait. Change that. Wait. I misheard your question. Deeds, I misheard your question. I am sorry. I spoke way too quickly. I got a lot of caffeine in me now, and I'm going to be hopping around for the rest of the day. But let me correctly answer your question. No, you are not wrong in saying Ron Rivera is a dead man walking. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised within the next 60 days that Ron Rivera does not get his walking papers.
I'm surprised he didn't get his walking papers after having the number 7 seed at 1 p.m. and being eliminated from the playoffs at 4:30.
By 4:30.
I'm surprised he didn't receive the "you're fired" pink slip then.
Do it right, Cole.
Lord, look, I'm surprised, and I wish
do it right.
I wish I had it, but I don't have it there. But yeah,
just do it live, man.
So yeah. I mean, Ron Rivera. I'm surprised he didn't get the walking papers after being the 7th seed at 1 p.m. and getting a "you fired" at 4:30.
Ron Rivera, you fired.
Because they were eliminated from the playoffs in 3 hours' time.
When they said, "Hey, come be our offensive coordinator," I gotta think it was like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, "Hey, come be the offensive coordinator for a year, and you're going to be the head coach next. You're going to be the head coach next year, no matter what happens. I don't care what the Redskins do next year." Ron Rivera is dead. Is a dead man walking. Everybody in that facility is going to know it.
He's a dead man walking.
Not it's going to know it. They already know it.
They already know it. Cole, you said it perfectly. They already know it. They already know it. I got some funny-ish to tell y'all, because we are all a part of this. We are all a part of this quote unquote uncensored podcast group chat. I'm sorry. I have to get this out there because Rod has issued a challenge.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, apparently Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, there's a what?
Oh, Hot TV. He says, "Look, matter of fact, if you're a soap opera fan, you're going to love to watch the franchise." I said, "I agree with you, man." Yes.
I agree with you too.
I'm sorry, Brian.
Because they and the Jets are going to be a walking soap opera this coming season. But I ain't the one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me. Anyway.
Yes, the challenge from Rod West. Yes.
Yeah, I need some. Okay, open it.
Okay, so the challenge goes as follows. Quote.
I need somebody from my MJ versus LBJ debate on Monday.
Close quote. That's it.
Got a response from Barry Abois, very good friend. He says, "What time Monday? 4:30 Eastern." So of course I had to chime in and jump all over that, and I said, "You don't want that smoke." Barry jumps in, says, "Yeah, I got you." You know what this fool Rod West said?
Quote.
Brian Snow will smoke you like cheap cigar.
Close quote. Samuel L.
English, do you speak it?
Of course it's got to be 4:30 right when I'm getting ready for work.
Exactly. So I did y'all a favor.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
You were finished. Oh, well, allow me to retort.
And my retort read the following. Rod Isaac. Oh, go ahead.
Quote.
Rod Isaac, I'll eviscerate your bronze sexuality in 30 seconds or less.
Close quote. Oh,
keeping the name that tune theme. Thank you, Chris Dietz.
We can do that in less than 10.
This coffee
I
with
know.
McCarthy is sponsored by Steph Curry Cognac. One, and it's lights out.
That's only a part of the evisceration. Rod says, "Come get the smoke Monday." Can I get the retort thing again, please? Pretty please.
Yeah, come get the smoke, huh? All right. Anything else? Rod West. Anything else?
Oh, you were finished. Oh, well, allow me to retort.
I said, "Corrección. You come get this smoke," which you don't want. And while I step away, a selection from the Wonder Bread Choir entitled, "You Don't Want These Cards."
Oh Lord. Okay, so as you were saying, as you were about to continuously destroy one Louis Riddick, sir.
Louis Riddick, when LaShawn McCoy makes his comment, Louis Riddick gets on him and starts just bringing up, "Dude, you don't know what you're talking about." And of course, because Shady McCoy is of a certain melanin in his skin, of course, he goes full on and calls him an uncle, you know what, and "Oh, you're just saying this to not see it." Literally every name in the book that he could throw at LaShawn McCoy throws him under the bus.
Wait a minute. Yes, wait. Louis Riddick on air. Not on
air, on Twitter, on Twitter. So it's out there. It's out there on Twitter. Ryan Kinnell showed it on his show.
Okay.
That's where I saw it.
Well, considering that I work for a national media company, if you were to tweet something or put it on Facebook or Instagram, That pretty much means that you're representing them when you say this. You mean to tell me that Lewis Riddick put on his own Twitter that Sean McCoy was an Uncle Tom?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Why would you want to, even if it's true, why would you want to say stuff like that?
Because there's no repercussions for that. If he had said it the other way, or if it were said in any other way, if it were said against Lewis Riddick for feeling the way that he did, it's because it's not about what was said. It's about why Lewis Riddick said it. And he said it because he's trying to push the racial narrative. And LaShawn McCoy is trying to say it's not about race. It's about the content of this guy's career.
It's about the merit, man.
And they don't, that's the thing. They don't want you to look at any other factor. It's race, and that's it. It's race, and that's the only reason. That's the only reason that Eric Bieniemy has to take another job. It's not the shadow of Andy Reid. It's not the fact that former players like LaShawn McCoy are coming out and saying this guy didn't know the passing game, didn't know the core things that an offensive coordinator should do. Now, I will say, if I were trying to defend Eric Bieniemy, which I'm not, because again, I told you I heard these rumblings beforehand. But if I were trying to, I would say, look, you played for Eric Bieniemy when he was, first, second year offensive coordinator. He's grown since then, and he's done different things. But that's addressing the issue. That's addressing the issue.
Which that's what you should do.
That network does not want to address the issue. They want to make sure the issue is color of his skin and not the other way around.
Yeah, that's why.
And nothing. It's nothing else. It's just racism. It's nothing else. And that's just totally intellectually dishonest. Is there a racial component? Sure. We all know that. We all have followed it for years in the NFL. We've followed it, we've covered it, and we've said there needs to be more. There needs to be more done. But when people are coming out and saying this has nothing to do with race, this has to do with the content of this guy's career, you need to address his career, not the color of his skin.
I agree with that.
I agree with that also.
Here's the problem.
I agree with that also.
Here's the problem. Not with you and what you just said, Deeds, because I had no issue. Here's the problem. What I have with the characters overall. Yes, on Lewis Riddick's side, that is unprofessional. That's something you shouldn't do. You shouldn't put that. You shouldn't put that anywhere, and you shouldn't basically call a person out of his name. Now, on the McCoy side, the nickname says it all. Because there's times the dude has said things out of pocket just because he can. And yes, I understand he was in the locker room. I know. And I know he got a chance to be with them. And like I said, like I actually said on my own show, I get that Bieniemy probably is toughest on running backs because he was a running back when he played. So I understand that. And I can understand how those feelings are probably raw still with Shady. I understand that. I'm not going to invalidate the feelings that McCoy has about Bieniemy or the opinion that he has about him. It's just that I'm thinking of other players on the team. Jamal Charles is a good example. Tyreek Hill is a good example. Patrick Holmes is the best example, along with Travis Kelce. I'm trying to think of a time where I've heard anything disparaging that they have said about him. And I can't really roll so hard with what McCoy said because he basically was there for a cup of coffee. He was supposed to get him a Super Bowl ring. He failed at that. He didn't really mesh with the team, and he bounced. But I'm not going to say that all of what he says is foul or wrong, or he's an Uncle Tom and he is saying that, or he's a sellout and he says that. No. My issue overall, though, goes into the camp of Reed because it makes the hiring of Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator as a token hire. And I'm not saying that as a racial component. I'm saying it as a component of, you need a placeholder in the position while you cook over here with your Waffle House menu and you call all the plays.
That sounds like what they've been running.
Yeah. And Reed gets up on any podium post game, and when he gets a chance to refute the question of, well, he's running the show, he tries to deflect and say, well, no, it wasn't me, it was Eric that ran the offense. That was his game plan. He did all of that. And for me to read at USA Today when he took the assistant head coach / offense coordinator job, the statement of, and this is in the sub headline of the story that I read, quote, he will be calling the offense's plays for the first time in his NFL coaching career. Close quote. It makes me look at everybody at Arrowhead from Andy Reid on up, and it makes me think let me do this correctly. It makes you want to sing this wonderful song that this gentleman did better than I ever could.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying?
That is what frustrates me about is that it's like you sold us this guy actually is pretty good offensively on your team. You give him so much credit that he is responsible for this offense that has been pretty much a calling card for the team the last 5 years, which every year the worst you finished is the AFC Championship game. And you mean to tell me that he basically was a non-factor this whole while?
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out how much of a non-factor he is. As Bieniemy will actually be calling the plays for the Redskins.
So I don't disagree with a word you said, Deeds. That's the issue I have with this whole Airbnb thing.
Nor do I. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you either, Deets. Well, I'll say it again. We're going to find out how much of a factor he is when he calls plays for the Redskins. And I will add this caveat: if he calls plays for the Redskins.
And Hall TV, this is why I am upset at Andy. Because you had those individuals who were offense coordinators under him: Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson, Brad Childress. Basically, they all learned under the Andy Reid tree. They didn't really call plays. He did, but they went on to head coaching. Bieniemy did not. But Reid would sell the fact that this guy actually is doing the work. Where they gave me the impression when I heard that he took the Commander's office coordinator / assistant head coach job. He didn't. That's where I have to push back with Reid.
That's the scariest part of this whole thing, that we find out after 5 years of Bieniemy being the offensive coordinator that he actually wasn't the offensive coordinator, that he didn't call any of the plays, and then you get the statement from LaShawn McCoy. There's a echo again. I'm sorry. You get the thing from Shady McCoy that he didn't know anything. What does that tell you about the tenure of Eric Bieniemy as offensive coordinator in Kansas City?
Right.
What does that tell you about Bieniemy? It just makes me think, and when you put all this together and you put this in linear fashion, that Bieniemy didn't know the offense. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just the tip of the iceberg is that Bieniemy did not know the offense. So if Bieniemy didn't know the offense, then what the hell do you have him listed as your offensive coordinator for, with the weapons that are in Kansas City to begin with? You're going to put your trust of an offense that high octane, that high output into a guy with a guy that cannot call any plays? I mean,
That
you
is
could.
my point, Hard TV, right there. Exactly.
But then again, it's like you said, it's not, and I agree with what's being said in the chat and with Cool McCain. I agree. Don't trust McCoy.
I don't trust Shady either.
I understand that. I understand that. But it's not just McCoy. It's on top of everything that I said before. When the reports were coming out that he didn't interview well, that he didn't get head coaching jobs because of certain things that didn't match up, that he was saying in his interview that didn't match up to what they were asking him.
Yeah,
it's links in the chain that you go, okay, I can see where this is. I can see why somebody would go a different route, and you can see why we're at where we are. It wasn't, oh, this black guy, we can't trust him. We can't trust him because he's black. That wasn't the case. It was about it's about what the content of his career has been. And they want to see it progress. And guess what? If he does awesomely if Washington's offense is all of a sudden miles better than it was last year, everybody's going to go, well, look, this guy was the real deal.
Yeah.
It's all there.
But see, it brings back to...
It brings up a really good question.
And why people kept interviewing him because Snowman and I talked about this last time. It's the Rooney Rule.
Yes.
That's the sole reason they brought him in.
It's because of the Rooney Rule, and it's a rule that needs to be thrown the hell out.
Yeah, because
let me say that again. And by the way, all you detractors, this is a black man saying this, and I have said this for the entire time that the Rooney Rule has been in effect. The Rooney Rule should never been in effect. It should always be the content of one's character and the resume of one who wants to be a head coach. You want to be a head coach? Prove it with your resume. Prove it with your body of work. Don't make it the fact that you need to prove it because of the color of your skin. If that's the case, I'd have lived out my Jim Durham dream a long time ago instead of taking the path that I've taken. But I'm glad I've taken the path that I've taken and built this doggone thing the way that I did. Okay?
The Rooney Rule is like any good thing. It's like any good thing that gets created.
Yeah.
It was good for, it was great when it was created. It was a great idea.
Yeah, the idea.
And what's happened is, over time, it has been used and abused. It has been abused.
Yeah, man, it's been blown.
Here's how effective the Rooney Rule has been. And yes, I agree with you, Deeds. It's a wonderful idea that came from the heart of a wonderful man.
Yes.
In Dan Rooney.
Yes.
In already a second. So this was a great idea. The problem with that is you're dealing with guys who are uncut. Let's just put it all the way out there. You're dealing with guys in the position of owner who are uncomfortable with those who do not look like them. So so we're celebrating now the 20th anniversary of the Rooney Rule. Now, when the rule was instituted, there were 3 black head coaches. What year is it now?
2023.
There are still just 3 black head coaches. So how effective has the rule been?
It hasn't been.
If it's supposed to get people who you think aren't getting their foot in the door, and to satisfy a rule, you have these owners and these general managers at the behest of the owners go through the mental Rolodex of interviewing Leslie Frazier, an Eric Bieniemy. Gosh, I'm blanking on a couple of other names where you would have them at a concert rotation every single year, and they don't get hired, but they satisfy the Rooney Rule.
But you have
that's all they do.
That's the thing. You have people who are in ownership positions who have gotten to ownership positions by skating on by not skating the rule, by all right, we'll satisfy the rule, but we're not really gonna put it into practice. We're gonna just do the bare minimum to pass the rule just to get by. And I'll give you a prime example of this.
All right.
And this is from my life. So they've made all these rules about government contracts. Like if you have a government contract, if your business is owned by a minority group, if your business is owned by a minority group, you are given government contracts before anyone else.
That's
okay.
Correct.
So my father owned a business where he serviced a lot of government contracts.
Yeah.
So in order to get on the list, my father put the name of the business in my mother's name. So when it came up as, all right, who are we going to give this contract to? Oh, this company is female owned, so it's a minority group, and we're going to give it to them.
Right.
So again, it's using the rule to your advantage. That's what owners do. Owners will find a way to, I can benefit from this rule. I'm going to do the bare minimum required in order to get the benefits of the rule, to satisfy the rule so that I can continue getting my contract. Because here's the reality is if my father had put his name on it, he would have been at the bottom of the list. And it has nothing to do with my dad's business. It has nothing to do with that. All it has to do with is equality checkboxes, like we were talking about before. All it has to do with is checking boxes of, make sure you do this, this, and this. And in that way, the ruling rule is good. But like I said, it's been in for so long that people have found their way around it.
I'll relate this story, and Cole can back me up on this. And Dietz, I think in a way you can too, because I went through this in Michigan City the last year I was up there, which of course was 2018, the year I met Jody. There was not any coverage of Michigan City football, basketball, or baseball on an exclusive basis. I mean, they had to buy time with a station that was so far behind technologically that they were too afraid to trust anybody else. I come along, and at the time I was homeless. I said, screw it. I'm going to take a chance. I got the permission from Craig Shaman, who's the athletic director at Michigan City High School, and I went shopping. I went sponsor shopping. Almost every advertiser, I got to use the correct term. Thank you, Jody. Almost every advertiser I went to said they had bought their time with WIMS, a station that was so far behind technologically, and WIMS charged 3 times what I was charging. And you talking about you want to talk about checking boxes? They checked the boxes of WIMS being owned by a minority when you had a minority 2 times over in your face. And I got barely 3 sponsors for football season. I was so far behind, it wasn't even funny. I just reached out to Craig this morning to try to get permission to broadcast again, but I'm going in the back door and I'm training somebody to call the games so I can get in people's faces again from a distance and seek sponsors again. So it's like Dietz said about checking boxes. That's all the rule would do. It's checking boxes. But what if it checks the boxes let me ask Dietz this. Let me get your thoughts on this. What if it checks the boxes you don't want to check? Like somebody that actually knows what the hell they're doing.
But that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about here. When people speak out about this, when people speak out and say the Rooney Rule is outdated, it needs to be altered, it needs to be changed.
Yes.
What happens? What happens to those people? Oh, you're against minority.
2000.
No, we're not against it. We're against the rule because the rule is being exploited. We need to shut down exploitation.
We need to stop the exploitation of the
rule, and we need to justify it for what's happening now.
I mean,
it's 20 years old. We need to update it.
When you can
2000 shades of backlash.
When you can have research that actually backs saying that there's 4 coaches that these people find in their study that have received 1/4 of all non-Caucasian interviews in the 20-year span of the rule, then you know that's a problem. Because it comes from the understanding.
And I bet you the leader in that clubhouse is Leslie Frazier.
I bet you. Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, the guy has been interviewed God knows how many times. Him, I think it was Jim Caldwell.
And it got to the point where Jim Caldwell said. And it got to the point where Jim Caldwell said, "Screw it, I'm not going to do it anymore."
Forget it. And the thing is, in this 20-year span, those 4 have gotten 25% of the head coaching interviews, and it's to the point where you will understand that these owners are like, okay, interview that black guy, and then let's get the guy we want.
Right. And it's always been that way with the Rooney Rule. It has always been that way,
and that's the problem.
That's the big problem. It's always been that way. Let's bring this guy in for the token interview, and then we'll go out and get the guy that we want.
Mm-hmm.
It's across all sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's across all sports. Very few teams, college, high school, or professional, will break the rule in half and say, "Screw it. This is the guy we want. This is the guy we trust. We don't care about the color of their skin. We just care about the content of their character." Thank you, Martin Luther King Jr. for that line.
And what's even scarier about this rule is they've extended it now to the front offices.
Yes.
Because now with general managers, these teams have to do the same thing.
Yep. And it's only going to continue until a majority of the teams break the rule in half and say, "Screw this.
The best
We're
man
getting
gets
the best man
woman
gets the best man or woman gets the job."
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Bills, thank you very much.
Yes, because
Buffalo Bills, thank you very much.
That team is owned by a woman. Yeah.
Speaking of front offices, Cole, I know you went on a rant during the end of baseball season about you don't want to hear about the Astros suspension and all of that stuff. Did you see who was hired in the front office by the New York Mets?
Yes. Carlos Beltran.
Carlos Beltran. Let me set this up for you right now. Let me put this on a tee for you.
And
Carlos Beltran, who was hired as the manager, but was not good enough for the manager because he was linked to this thing. He wasn't good enough to manage the team, so they fired him 2 minutes into his hiring. But 2 years later, he can be in the front office. What? What is going on here? If this suspension was good enough to fire him as the manager, but now that it's swept it under the rug, now we'll just put him up in the front office.
And it's of the same and it's of the same team. The team you root for, Mr. D.
Folks,
he was the manager of the Mets. Now he's the general manager of the Mets.
You can't make this up.
Only 3 years later.
3 years later, Carlos Beltran is in the front office of the team that he wasn't good enough
to manage.
I
did see that.
The guy got fired over this, but 2 years later, he failed upwards. He went from the bench to the front office real quick. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
What the
I read
hell?
that in the paper today, and I was like, what in the world?
Can I ask a question Dietz wants to ask, and I'll ask it out loud as we get ready to close up shop this morning? Dietz loves asking this question out loud, and I'll ask it for him. What the hell was that? Did I get it right? Did I get it right? What the hell was that? Wait.
The only one who says it better is Paul Allen.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry. He's not the general manager. He's the special assistant to Brian Epler, who's the general.
He's the general manager. Come on.
But you might as well. You may
as well call him. You may as well call him the general manager.
That's crazy.
I borrow from. Let me get the movie right. Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first appearances I ever saw of one Chris Rock.
That's right.
What the F is up, man? I get $10 for cars. I get $20 for limos. What the hell is this? Am I off base?
So
in that comparison?
So Mets fan, what do you think about that?
Does Carlos Beltran knows his stuff. He obviously knew his stuff enough to be a manager. So,
why didn't they just keep him as the doggone blankety blanket?
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't you just keep him as the manager and say, "All right, we'll deal with the penalty when it comes"? But hey, they love themselves. The Mets love themselves some Carlos Beltran. So. You're asking a Mets fan. The first question, I would love to be in a press conference with Carlos Beltran, because my first question would be: Are you ever going to swing at that? Are you ever going to swing at that strike right down the middle of the plate? Is it every time I watch that play? Every time I watch bases loaded and watch stand there while the St. Louis Cardinals are celebrating their win because you couldn't hit the bat off your shoulder.
Yeah. But you're right. That team can't get away from Beltran. I mean, he's played for him. He's managed them, although it was not.
Now he's in
the front office of the Mets.
So before we get out of here, because I know we're getting ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
Cole Sports. Great job yesterday breaking down the All-Star game.
Thank you.
So, real quick, let me tell you the fix of the All-Star game.
Blow it up and try again.
Scrap the game. Get rid of the game. Take the game out of the equation.
Yep.
And make it look. You're talking to somebody who went to basketball camp for my entire preteen life. For probably about 6 years, I went to probably 12 different basketball camps over the summer. You can have activities that would be awesome to watch people play. I would love to watch an NBA All-Star knockout game. How fun would that be? Guys shooting threes, guys trying to knock people out, guys actually competing. A hot shot tournament. It's you get a minute and you get a point for a layup. You get a point. You get 2 points for a foul shot, 3 points for an elbow jumper, and you got to make as many points as you can in a minute. Those guys competing, they would actually compete in those events, and they're actual events that show skills.
And you said the key word: compete.
And you tell the guys, look, if you don't want to participate, then you don't get the all-star. It's all-stars that are participating, not guys who are from the G League. I would love to see a version of horse, like you do like NBA or whatever. And guys just like the old school commercials, Jordan versus Bird. Hey, off this, off that, and in. And they, you gotta make that shot, or you gotta shoot from somewhere that's crazy, or do something crazy. They can be inventive with this.
Yes.
And make it so that they're not playing a game. So guys that are elected to the All-Star team pick what event they want to participate in. If they want to be in the knockout tournament, they're in the knockout tournament. If they want to be in the hot shot tournament, they're in the hot shot tournament. But they have all these events that the all-stars are in because the game is a joke. It's an absolute joke.
And we'll leave it like this to honor Cole Sports. You should change Adam Silver. You should change the All-Star Weekend to the No Stars Weekend. We'll leave it there. That's Deets. He's on every Thursday. We thank you. We love you, brother.
Absolutely.
So much.
And tonight, 9:00, we introduce the Saint to the Fifth Down family.
Yeah,
so be
please.
ready for that. And of course, I've been told we might get a sports sensei on the show as well.
You might get 2 sports senseis if I'm home in time and if I'm awake, because I just may crash when I get in the house tonight. We'll see you 9:00.
I hear you on that one.
Yeah, 9:00. 9:00 tonight. I can't even talk. I've been up too long. 9:00 tonight. It's Spit Down Sports with Chris Deets. Thank you, brother. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Passionate.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Deets.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
That was indeed a full-blown fibrillation. Thank you all for being patient with me as I play around with my setup and I get it corrected. 3:00 or 3:05 today, you'll have the Brian Snow Show live here from Edinburgh, Indiana. Rod Peterson is scheduled to join me at the bottom of the hour. And Michael Concecio, the con man, scheduled to join me at the top of the hour as we break down the All-Star Weekend. You did a magnificent job, Mr. Johnson. An absolutely magnificent job.
I appreciate
and
it.
I love you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Because there were no stars this past weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had to go with the angle of how.
And I'm glad you did.
The weekend was, yeah.
I'm glad you did. But I'll use the word that Bill Cosby used often from the Bill Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
It was pitiful.
Pitiful. Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely pitiful
to me, and I'll make this quick.
And to me.
When a G League player, or I'm sorry, a guy who was in the G League a week and a half prior, basically gets all of the spotlight, and you're not even talking about anybody who plays in the NBA for years or any All-Star at all, that to me is a huge problem. And
that's an indictment against the league.
And and to me, the sport has a problem if that is the case, and that was.
Yeah. Big indictment against the league. Tomorrow is Friday, and you know who joins us at the bottom of hour 2. So we're going to go off the rails tomorrow and kind of put a best of together because I still got some ish to get off my chest. Till then, have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
your life might go off the rails. Then you aren't dreaming big enough.
you are a blanking idiot. And I love you. I love you, Cole Johnson. Thank you for that laugh.
No problem.
Because after No Star Weekend and dealing with the ish I've been through in the past year and a half, the way you make me laugh just makes it all worth it.
Good.
God bless y'all. And God bless y'all. Thank you. We're out of here. See you tomorrow.
Peace.